Hi, this is Chanel. I hope you're doing well. I will be discussing identity theft. Okay, so fraud and identity theft, and the importance of knowing who you are. Okay, so first I'm going to discuss identity theft. Okay, so this is something that I've been dealing with for a few months now. I was contacted, and I don't know whether I've discussed this in a different video or not, but a few months back, I was contacted by a detective in a different state who informed me that someone attempted to cash a check with my personal information all over it. Okay, some of the other things that I've dealt with right around that time was my bank information. I've had username and passwords changed and created for banking or on banking websites. I've had to change just about all of my passwords on some of my accounts. I have had on my phone, I've had contact names changed, I've had contact names added. Recently a family group chat was created for a function that I didn't attend, but I was included in the group chat. Maybe two or three text messages were sent on that chat, and then there was no more communication on that. However, I still have the chat, and I looked at it. Just so happened to look at it a couple of days ago, and it showed that that I created it under the chat. It says group you created. I didn't create the group chat. I don't have anybody's phone number saved. I didn't create the phone. I didn't create the group chat. I have had at my previous employer, there was someone who worked in the IT department who was listed as an alias for me. So anyway, and I could keep going, but when it comes to everything that I just named, involves someone accessing my personal information and also identity theft. Okay. And the problem, number one, identity theft is anytime someone goes anywhere to an establishment or tries to access, be it in person or not. Okay, if someone is trying to pass themselves off to someone else, there is an imbalance. Okay, that's not normal. It's common, unfortunately. However, it is abnormal for someone to pretend to be someone else. Okay. I'll say this. So like I said, the name of this video, in this video I'm talking about fraud. Okay, fraudulent acts, identity theft, and the importance of knowing who you are. Okay, so like I said, fraudulent acts, when people commit fraudulent acts, okay, it's very frustrating. For the person that is being done to is frustrating. Okay. However, as the person with the eyes looking at the one who is doing it, it shows an imbalance. Okay, so you're dealing with someone. I know that I'm dealing with people who are imbalanced. Okay, because again, their acts are abnormal. Anytime a person has to lie about something or hide it or do it in a way in which people don't know what they're doing. Obviously, number one, they know that they're doing something they aren't supposed to do. and they hide it because they are because they know it's abnormal. Okay, it's criminal and it's abnormal. Okay, and so that's why they hide their own identity. Okay, and so when dealing with imbalanced people, and I'm gonna roll this into knowing who you are. You have to know who you are, no matter who you're dealing with. Okay. There are people who will. And first, I'm gonna say this: when someone is committing a fraudulent act in someone else's name, or if they are digging into the personal information of someone else by however many means, especially with the way technology is, and people are people. There are people who learn about certain things with the intent to. Not everybody does, but there are people who learn about certain things and they use them in a way that is criminal. Okay. So, but either way, when someone is willing to, like I said, fraudulently use someone else's information or pretend to be someone else or dig into someone else's personal documents or business. Okay. It tells you what type of person you're dealing with. Okay. And it is, people like that are dangerous. Okay. People like that can't be trusted. Okay. There's lying and manipulative behavior that ties into that type of act. Okay. And one thing that I was taught when I was very young was that a liar can't be trusted. Okay. Liars cannot be trusted. If a person will lie, they'll steal. If they steal, there's just a laundry list of things that a person will do, especially if they will lie about who they are. Okay. So back to knowing who you are. Okay. Trying to clear your name after someone mislabels you, or once someone does something that fraudulent, that messes up your name, basically. Okay, so like things such as, like I said, someone pretending to be me. Obviously, that they're not saying that they are themselves for a reason. Okay, and so when someone attaches negativity to your name, it can be very hard to clear up, especially when they spread lies about. And this is in a different circumstance, but if you are having to try to clear up your name because of what someone else has said or what someone else has done, it can be very difficult. Okay, but it's very important that we don't forget who we are. Okay, and that we stand true on who we are. Okay. So this I just want to keep this video very short. But at the end of the day, I think it's important to pay attention to who you're dealing with. Okay. I discussed at the beginning of the video some of the things that I have experienced. Some in my work environment. Some things have been personal, or they have they're dealing with my personal devices and things of that nature. And I think it's important to know who you're dealing with. It's important to know who's around you. It's important to pay attention to people's character. Okay, and pay attention to the small things. Nobody is perfect. Okay, but pay attention. Don't assume, but ask questions. Okay, and if a lot of times if you don't get answers, or if a person is not willing to give answers, then that you need to keep digging. Okay, because there's a reason for that. So, but anyway, like I said, it's important to know who you are. And like I said, know who's around you. Okay. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful day. Feel free to like and subscribe if you have not. And thank you for watching. Bye.